Today in court on Swift Justice with Nancy Grace.
What seemed like a sweet deal.
She was driving an ice cream truck.
Wasn't all sugar and spice.
I just terminate the contract.
Why?
I worked for a whole week and I want my money.
Today on Swift Justice with Nancy Grace. For 10 years, she was America's toughest and most successful prosecutor. Now, she has her own court, and she's the judge. The cases are real. The decisions are binding. And justice will be swift.
Sir, I don't care who says what. I'm going to find the truth.
Court starts now on Swift Justice with Nancy Grace.
40-year-old Elias Morris says he made a special contract with his employee at the time, 50-year-old Suzanne Schifano. She was to split some of her hours driving an ice cream truck with her daughter. When Suzanne's daughter got a flat in a bad neighborhood, she threatened to abandon the truck. Well, he got the tire fixed, but he decided to terminate the entire employment contract with Suzanne. A month later, Suzanne ran into his office manager at a gas station, and they say she began yelling curse words and threatening the office manager. Well, the next thing he says he knows, he says he's having to hire a lawyer to fight accusations of, quote, repeat violence. Suzanne Schifano says it was him who was yelling curse words and making threats to her daughter. Elias, Suzanne, I've read the facts, I've reviewed the evidence, and now I've got the two of you. First to you, what happened?
Well, Nancy, on the day of the tire incident, I never talked to her daughter. Everything was relayed to me through my manager, Tiffany. What she had said that, exactly we explained it, that she had a flat tire, that she told her that she was going to get a truck out to her 30 to 45.
The manager said she would get a truck out to the daughter.
Or somebody to fix the tire, tow truck.
Okay.
To fix the tire. And it was going to take about 30 to 45 minutes to get them out there. Suzanne then called Tiffany and told Tiffany that was unacceptable. I told Tiffany when they get back, just cash them out, let them go, and then just terminate the contract.
Why?
Well, just the way she was, threatening to leave the ice cream truck, abandon it. The ice cream trucks are valued between $20,000 and $30,000 a piece, and the drivers are the ones that
Was it a bad neighborhood? Because you are sending out a young lady alone to sell ice cream.
I did not send her to a bad neighborhood. The driver has the choice. They're independent contractors.
Okay, I didn't know that. Good to know. Go ahead.
Now, the drivers do, what we do is we hold back a security deposit on the drivers for incidents like this. Her daughter ran the tire on the rim for more than just it going flat. She ruined the rim. So we had to replace the rim and the tire at the same time. So we kept her security deposit. Her security deposit was lower than the normal because she was a part-time worker. When we first had Suzanne working for us, she drove 3 to 4 days a week, and then she came to Tiffany and asked her if she can have her daughter work the days that she was off. Okay, but as far
Now,
as...
what about the gas station?
Well, the gas station, I personally wasn't there. Now,
What do you know about it? Because
all
apparently
I knew
there were
about
phone calls.
I got the phone call from Tiffany stating that she had a problem with her at the gas station, that she showed up at the gas station with 3 guys and threatening Tiffany about the security deposit. Well, she doesn't work the security deposit.
Okay, Miguel, do we have surveillance tape of that? Let's see it. Here's Tiffany, the office manager. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just walking in the store to pay for gas. I heard someone call my name. I turned around, it was Suzanne, and she hurried in behind me so that she was, like, directly behind me.
Okay, stop, Miguel.
To pay for gas.
Where's the boss?
This is my boss that I work. I'm a transporter for this woman.
This is after you
And that's
quit.
a woman in her late 70s.
Right here?
Right.
Now, what do you transport?
Cars from...
Okay. Did you have that job while you drove the ice cream truck?
Yes, I did.
So you had 2 jobs?
Right.
I respect that. Okay. So why was she also there?
We were getting gas. So I was going in for coffee. She was going in to pay for the gas.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, as I walked in to pay for gas, I turned around and I said, hi, what do you want? And she told me that she was wanting to know about her security deposit, and I explained to her, I have nothing to do with security deposits. I don't know. And I went to walk out to the truck to actually pump gas, and she was continuously following me.
Okay, so you are following her?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happens?
I was pumping gas, and she is going ballistic on me because I'm trying to explain to her I have nothing to do with it, and she just starts screaming obscenities at me, threatening me, and I was trying to hurry up and get out of there, and she was to the point where she was in my face, and I could actually feel her finger brushing across my nose where she was so close, threatening to hurt me.
What were her words exactly?
She said, "Wait until I get you alone. I'm gonna beat your A. I'm gonna F you up." And at that point, whenever I felt her like brushing across my nose, I backed up and I put my hands up. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "if you're gonna do something, go ahead and do it. If not, just leave me alone." And she said, "F you. If I'm not going to do it right now, there's a bunch of people around. Wait until I catch you alone. Wait until I catch you alone." And I just told her just to leave me alone. I got in my car and I left. And as soon as I left, I called.
Are you single?
Yes.
Are you single?
Yes.
Are you dating?
No.
No.
But we have went out, but we're not dating.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear your side.
Okay, at the gas station, all I asked her was the pay that they owed me. They told me when I left there, 7 to 14 days, I will get my pay. So I
Wait a minute, your pay or your security deposit?
my security. Well, I worked for that money.
Okay, I thought the security deposit was something you placed down.
I worked for a whole week, and they held that money as a security in case something went wrong. So when I went to the gas station and we bumped into each other, we had a screaming match. There's no telling any different. We had a screaming match. Because she said to me, "Well, do you think we're going to sell our ice cream trucks just to pay you?" I said, "I don't care how you get me my money. I worked for it and I want my money."
Coming up, our body language expert helps Nancy get to the truth.
I do investigations of people, and I can see things that aren't being said. Most recently here, we see Mr. Morris reacting to, whenever she says that he was yelling and screaming at me, we see a significant reaction from him.
I just find it amusing because I never talked to her.
Then, Nancy brings swift justice across America.
I had only lived with her for a few months, and then when I go to move out, I find that she had put my name on her Duke Energy bill.
Now, let me get something straight. Miss Larkins is...
for a free consultation. Call today.
Next, TMZ. Did Harvey Levin actually convince Jeff Bridges to host TMZ one day next week, or is he in over his head? He's sure.
Tonight at 7, followed by The Insider at 7:30.
Morris versus Schifano. An ex-employee accuses her former boss of repeated violence, but now she's being sued for $800 to pay for his legal fees.
Okay, now all of this is her daughter that did all this. Why are you keeping her money?
Because what was explained to Suzanne from Tiffany was that they would be working under the same deposit, so her daughter didn't have to do a separate one. This way it would save her daughter from working a week to come up with this a different security deposit. We were doing her a favor because she was a good worker.
Okay, so after I left the gas station, I was in the car with my boss, and I kept on getting these phone calls. He's screaming, "Time to make the donuts. I'm not effing paying you." So at this point, during the course of the day, I kept on getting...
Wait, he didn't date you too, did he?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Definitely not. At this point, he starts threatening me on the phone. So I call the police.
What exactly?
First, he was saying that he was with my daughter the night before, trying to hurt my feelings, saying obscene things about her, and that he knows where I live, and if you think your grandchildren are cute, wait till I get through with them. I'm from the park, whatever the park is.
What's the park?
I don't know. That's what he said, and I have no idea. But all these threats came. So that evening, I called the police, and I said, what do I do here? I'm scared. So the police came to my house. They talked to me. They said it was a civil matter, that I would need to get a restraining order. And I said, you know what, fine. I don't care about the pay anymore, as long as I can get him to leave me alone, because I have babies.
How many more times had he called?
4 or 5 calls. So when the police was getting ready to leave, my phone rings. The police now answer the phone. And the police told him, do not call me anymore. Take it to civil court.
You say you need attorney's fees for what?
Just to make a long story short, first of all, I've only met Suzanne one time for a total of 5 to 7 minutes in the interview process. I've never even knew what her daughter looked like. I never had any kind of contact with her daughter. Okay, to make that clear.
What about the twins?
I didn't even know they had kids. I don't know these people. I have 40 different drivers that work for me. I don't know her. The only reason she sparked my attention was because of the fact that she did what she did to Tiffany. That was the only reason that I had made those calls.
So when do you find out you've got a claim against you?
Well, I came into work, and then I got served by the sheriff's department. I did talk, she was right, I did talk to the police officer that night. Yeah. I explained to the police officer exactly what happened, and then I got served like a couple, maybe 3 or 4 days later for a repeat violence. So I had hired an attorney to come with me to represent me, and she never showed for the hearing. It was
Why?
They had a court date set up a couple weeks later, and I couldn't get off, so I called up the clerk of court, and I said, what happens if I don't show? I have to go to work because I'm helping my daughter raise these children. They said, well, if you don't show up, it'll just be dropped.
How much did the lawyer cost?
It cost me $800.
Okay. Michelle Barber is joining us via Polycom. Suzanne, this is your daughter, right?
Yes.
Hi. Let's hear your side.
Okay, I was under the impression that Tiffany was the owner of the company. I've never met this other man. The day of the flat, I called Tiffany repeatedly for hours because I did have this flat, and eventually Tiffany answered the phone. It was about 7 p.m. and everyone returned their ice cream trucks back to the shop at 9. So she said after everybody returned their trucks, she would send out another employee to help me. At that point, I said to her, there's no way in the world that I'm going to stay out here after dark. She asked me if I can drive to the nearest corner, and I did. Then I got a phone call from this other gentleman screaming and cursing at me. He told me that I was not able to leave the truck behind, even if it was locked up, because he's the owner and the truck was worth $15,000, and I don't have that type of money to pay for the truck. The person that came to help me change the flat was one of the ice cream truck employees. He did get to me 2 hours after I made the original phone call and spoke to Tiffany. And it was after dark. It was about 9:30 when he got there.
Michelle, when did you first start calling Tiffany Royal to try to tell her you were stranded?
I believe it was about 6, 7 o'clock p.m.
But you told me you tried to reach her for several hours.
Yes, and she didn't answer the phone. I finally got in touch with her around 7. I know it was a minimum of an hour beforehand.
Okay. And you still stayed with the car until 9:30? You were still there with the ice cream truck?
Yes, I did.
The litigants face Nancy's binding decision next. Coming up.
Okay, did you move in rent-free?
Right. I'm very...
relieves even my worst allergy symptoms. Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer for nasal congestion and sinus pressure without drowsiness. I only live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Morris versus Schifano. Was an ex-employee harassed by her former boss? Our body language expert reveals the results now.
Joining me right now is an expert, a senior instructor at the Body Language Institute, Aaron Brehove. First of all, explain what you do.
So I'm a body language expert, and I do investigations of people, and I can see things that aren't being said. And I think you've picked up on a few different things. And we see, most recently here, we see Mr. Morris reacting to, whenever she says that he was yelling and screaming at me, we see a significant reaction from him.
I'm not sure. I find it amusing because I never talked to her.
But the interesting piece is, you don't have any reaction when she says that someone called her that claims to be you. And then you do have a significant reaction when she says that someone's yelling and screaming at her.
Because I think it was Leon that called her. That was the gentleman that went to get her.
Okay, so you know someone did call her.
Yes, somebody did call her.
So what have you learned?
So also, you asked the question about when the call was happening, and we see that as soon as you questioned her a little bit more in depth, I think we could see that it wasn't multiple hours beforehand.
I feel like they're both telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
She perceived it as, this is a threat, and if you mention my twins,
and my
I'm calling police.
And
I don't care.
Daughter. Anybody in my family.
You make a pretty good living off all these ice cream salespeople, right?
I do more than just that, Your Honor.
You do?
Nancy, yes.
Good. I'm glad you said that because I believe you can afford $800 for a lawyer. Case closed. No money to anybody. Good luck, and don't date your bosses.